Hey everyone, I've got a quick invincibility Void Hunter build for you today that makes running higher difficulty content much easier. Invincibility is one of the strongest abilities in the game, which makes running Void Hunter an easy choice for anything legend tier or above. Before we begin though, if you find this video useful, consider dropping a like or subscribing for more build videos. Thanks. Okay, let's get into it. We're starting with our super, Deadfall, so we can tether enemies longer and apply a 30% debuff. Next, we have Gambler's Dodge, to refund our melee ability when dodging near targets. For our melee, we have Snare Bomb. This smoke bomb will attach to surfaces and detonate when a target is near, applying a 15% debuff. For grenades, we're running Suppressor Grenades. These grenades prevent enemies from using abilities or firing at you. They work on almost every enemy type except for unstoppable and barrier champions and bosses, so keep that in mind. The first aspect will need its Vanishing Step, so we can become invincible after dodging. Next, we have Trapper's Ambush. With this aspect, we can activate our melee in the air to do a ground slam, creating a cloud of smoke that makes us and our teammates invincible and weaken any targets caught in the smoke. For our fragments, we'll need Echo of Harvest to create orbs of power and void breaches when defeating weakened targets. Next, we have Echo of Obscurity to gain invincibility after a finisher. This comes in clutch when you're in a bad situation. Our third fragment is Echo of Starvation to gain Devour when picking up an orb of power or a void breach. As long as we have Devour, we'll get health regeneration and increase our survivability, especially in higher end content where everything hits harder and has better aim. Finally, our last fragment is Echo of Domineering to get increased mobility and reload our equipped weapon when suppressing a target. We also create a void breach when defeating suppressed targets. For our main exotic, we're running Omnioculus. Omnioculus gives us a second smoke bomb charge and increased damage resistance when invincible. If we tag our teammates, we'll get some melee energy back too. Now, I wondered, why would I need damage resistance if I'm invincible? Well, if you pay attention to the enemies while you're invincible, these bastards are still tracking you, and some will still keep firing in your general direction. Omnioculus helps to keep you alive in those situations. Now let's take a look at our weapons. In the kinetic slot, you'll need a legendary strand auto rifle with Hatchling, and combine it with the artifact mods Unraveling Orbs, Horde Shuttle, and Dragon's Bite. Combining all these elements will crank up your legendary auto to exotic levels of destructiveness. I'm running Rufus's Fury with Enhanced Demolitionist to generate grenade energy, and Enhanced Hatchling to create hatchlings with Precision Final Blows or Rapid Final Blows. I'm also running the artifact mod Overload Auto Rifle to deal with overload champions. In the energy slot, I'm running a sidearm and the artifact mod Piercing Sidearm to deal with barrier champions. Remember, this is an endgame build, and unfortunately, champions are still a thing. Finally, for the heavy, we've got Leviathan's Breath. This thing will stun unstoppable champions and deals massive damage that staggers enemies and makes them volatile. It also has its own version of Archer's Temple, so if you can hit crits, you'll get increased draw time and increase your DPS. Okay, now for some mods and stats. For Orb of Power generation, we've got Strand Siphon and Reaper. For ability energy, we'll need Impact Induction, 2 Focusing Strike mods, and Insulation. We've also got 2 Strand Weapon Surge mods, Powerful Attraction and Proximity Ward. Finally, Solo Operative for those solo runs or when you're the last surviving member of your fire team. Finally, I recommend High Mobility and Resilience, considering this is a build intended for endgame content. Well, that's the build. I'll post a dim link in the description below. Thanks for watching. Until next time.